Welcome back to F1 Report, everyone. That's the Russian Grand Prix finished and we are marching on. So let's take a look at the nuts and bolts over the course of the weekend. We'll start with qualifying, so we know how the teams came into the race. It's the first time in what feels like forever that we didn't have a Mercedes front row lockout. Hamilton may have been on pole, but it was Verstappen now lined up alongside him. We actually almost lost Hamilton in Q2 due to some stacking coming around the final corner right at the very end there, but he managed to get over the line just in time to set a lap. Bottas was in third, quite a bit back from his teammate. It was very surprising actually. Perez was in fourth, doing a great job putting himself in the shop window. Ricciardo in fifth, Sainz in sixth, Ocon in seventh, Norris in eighth, and Gasly, recovering from his poor qualifying last time out, ninth. Albon had a disaster qualifying in 10th and then dropping down to 15th after a gearbox change. Out in Q2 is our first Ferrari with Leclerc in 11th, Kvyat in 12th, Stroll surprisingly all the way down in 13th, another Q2 run for Russell in 14th, always good to see a Williams in there. And our second Ferrari out in Q2 is Vettel after he crashed out and caused a red flag. Out in Q1 we had Grosjean in 16th, Giovinazzi in 17th, Magnussen in 18th, Latifi in 19th, but he also took a new gearbox so he dropped to the back, and Raikkonen in 20th. That's how they lined up on the grid, but how did the race itself go? Let's dive in. We had a Mercedes winner as usual at this track, but not the man we're used to seeing on the top step. That's right, Valtteri Bottas has won the Russian Grand Prix, and at a canter too. In second we had Max Verstappen. In third was Hamilton. He'll have to wait to equal Schumacher's record. Perez took fourth, Ricciardo fifth, Leclerc sixth, a great drive from the Ferrari there. Ocon seventh, Kvyat in eighth, a really good result for him at his home race. He looked lively all the way through. Gasly was in ninth, and Albon in 10th. Giovinazzi was in 11th, so close to snagging a point for himself. Magnussen in 12th, Vettel in 13th, Raikkonen in 14th, and Norris in 15th. Latifi got a good result for him in 16th place, Grosjean in 17th, and finally Russell in 18th. Sainz and Stroll were our DNFs this time out. The conditions for the race were nice and warm. There's no real issues with any tyre blistering or cooling at all. Most cars actually ran on the hard tyre at some point as well, so the heat would have been really good to get them up to speed. So let's hit the talking points of the race, and honestly there's not a lot of them this time out, especially compared to the last two races. It was a typical Sochi race with just one or two interesting bits. The first thing actually came before the race had even got underway. Hamilton was handed two separate 5-second penalties for practice restart violations in the pit lane. Now, practice restarts are a fairly common occurrence, but Hamilton did two of these in the wrong location, hence why he got the penalties. When he was asked how this happened after the race, he really didn't want to comment. So we're all left wondering, as this seems like it's a bit of a rookie mistake from him and the team. He took the full 10 seconds as a stop-go in his first pit stop, dropping him from first down to 11th. And after that, the win was never really achievable. Which is a shame, as many, including myself, I thought we'd be celebrating him joining Schumacher's win total after this race. But we'll just have to wait till another weekend. This also increased the points on Hamilton's super license as well. Not usually a big deal, but now he's up to 10 and he'll get a race ban if he hits 12 in one season. Just for context, the incident today gave him 2 points, so he can't afford to do what he did today again. The next incident was on the very first lap, so it made it seem like Russia may be as chaotic as the last two races. Sadly, it didn't go that way. We had two separate crashes, one for Sainz and one for Stroll on the first lap, leading to a safety car. Sainz will be super disappointed with his crash. He had run wide at turn 2, so had to drive through the little bollards there, but he just took it too fast and hit a wall. Driver error for sure on that one. The same can't be said for Stroll, however, who got a shunt off Leclerc in the back for his troubles. He then went off into the barrier as well. Sadly, no real big talking points after that. The few small things here and there, such as Ricciardo and Albon picking up 5-second penalties for not going through those bollards correctly. However, it didn't affect either of their positions. We also had a virtual safety car for literally like 10 seconds at one point, which was interesting. Grosjean slammed through those foam bollards and they needed to be replaced, so the marshals just ran out and did it. It did cause Gasly to come into the pits. Obviously they were thinking maybe the virtual safety car would last longer. So that set us up for some fun action towards the end actually, because Gasly dropped back a couple places and he had to battle forwards, getting past Albon and Norris. Overall, it was a bit of a slow one, but if you look closely, you'll see some interesting developments in the teammate battles. We had Bottas beat Hamilton, Kvyat beat Gasly, Giovinazzi beat Raikkonen, and Latifi beat Russell. So it was a bit of a race for the underdog. A quick shout out to Kvyat as well. He was entertaining throughout, really tried to put on a show for his home race and for the fans that came out, and that was really great to see. So let's take a look at how my team and driver to watch did. Is my jinxing streak finally over? I think we can answer that with a resounding no. Albon was my driver to watch. I wanted him to push on after his podium last time out, and instead he finished 10th, while his teammate was 2nd. I think I should be kind of personally apologising to the drivers at this point. But did my team to watch fare any better? Well, kinda, I guess. It was Mercedes due to their winning streak at the circuit, and that continues, so score 1 for me. But by their standards, it was a messy weekend, with Hamilton almost going out in Q2, and then Bottas only getting 3rd in qualifying, and then Hamilton getting a 10-second penalty before the race had even started. Oh, it really doesn't feel like a win, but I guess I'll take it. So what's next on the calendar for us? It's another week off, and then we go back to Hockenheim for the German Grand Prix on October the 11th. Of course, I'll keep you up to date with any news between now and then. But what did you guys think of this race? And are there any predictions going into Germany? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one.